the North American desk has created the Breakfast Club to host events, seminars, and conferences for the English-speaking community on issues that concern us and that we are really interested in hearing about. I am truly excited that you're able to take part in the inauguration of our Breakfast Club, which is coincidentally taking place 3 days before the inauguration. However, as opposed to the presidential inauguration that occurs every 4 years, we hope that our Breakfast Club events will take place 4 times a year. In the words of the founding father of Bar-Ilan University, Professor Pinchas Organ, Bar-Ilan serves as a bridge between Israel and the diaspora. In fact, Bar-Ilan's roots were planted on American soil. When we opened our doors in 1955, believe it or not, the New York Times featured the following headline: New Israeli University to open in fall, stressing Judaism study, sponsored by the Mizrahi Group, regarded as a cultural link between the Republic and America. In fact, believe it or not, President Eisenhower himself sent a message of congratulation upon the university's opening. Well, over 6 decades have elapsed since the university's founding, but our connection to North America and its Jewish community has only gotten stronger. Head of the Bar-Ilan Conflict Resolution Program, a member of the Israeli Council on Foreign Affairs, the president of NGO Monitor, and a very serious professor of political science, Professor Gerald Steinberg.
Oh, this is the abbreviation President of the United States. Donald Trump will be the 45th president, sworn in, to be sworn in on Friday afternoon, I guess, Israel time. I'm supposed to be, as I was very graciously introduced, something called a political scientist. I've taught political science at Bar-Ilan about 35 years. And this is probably one of the hardest assignments I've ever had. I did my doctorate, my education in the United States. I came here, started to teach, talked a lot about when I teach politics. I compared the American political system with the Israeli political system. I talked about the American political system as having inherently what was called the tradition of bipartisanship. Politics stopping at the water's edge on critical issues, particularly foreign policy. When I was a kid growing up, back in the 80s or 90s, whatever year it was, Eisenhower period, Kennedy period, and after that, Nixon, all of those, for that period, even the Vietnam War, on critical foreign policy issues, particularly on Israel, there was not great degree of partisanship. You got the Democrats and Republicans working together. You had Henry Jackson from the Democratic Party working very closely with Republicans in pushing, in those days, Nixon, Kissinger, and others to be more cooperative with Israel, a period of reluctance, and also on issues like Soviet Jewry and other issues. That era is gone from the United States. The politeness that one heard and saw, even when there were very difficult political issues, differences, that we saw, and I remember going to the Congress and as, let's say, young person, whatever that means relatively, but listening to the debates, they were done in a very civilized, not as civilized as the British. Anybody here that's from the Commonwealth? We're all U.S. based. Okay. Canada. Canada was the Commonwealth. Next time, we'll talk about Canadian politics, which still has some of that. I'm not here to talk specifically about the quality of the political debate in the United States, but I think that's important to have in the background. I can't teach politics that way anymore because it's not true. The factors that we saw particularly strong in our election campaign. The division that exists in the United States, social, political, cultural divisions, are much sharper, much more in focus than we recognized 20, 30, 40 years ago. You see that in many other places too. It's important to remember that Trump's victory in the election, at least in the Electoral College, is not that different than what happened in some ways in the UK and Britain, ultimately the European Union. And the divisions there are very, very sharp and very similar. There are also economic divisions in there. And it's not a place for me to talk about Israeli politics, but there's quite a strong element of that here as well. And in many other places throughout the democratic world. When Donald Trump is sworn in as president on Friday, he's going to, first of all, he's going to have a very divided country. More divided than at any other time. This is not an entirely new phenomenon. We saw it during the Clinton period, we saw it during the years of the Obama administration. It's getting more and more problematic. In addition to that, we have a personality, and I'm not a psychologist, but very different than any other president from what we can tell. In political science, we learn, we teach the point that the same person in different positions can have very different policies. Sometimes that's called hypocrisy. I call it politics. Maybe candidate Trump will be very different than President Trump, but I doubt it. The changes that some people expected to see after the elections in November 8th are not very obvious. He's still setting policies by Twitter, angry Twitter. If you watch his press conference and his response, the anger in his response to the CNN report. And there's a background to that, and the background is important. It's not forgotten, but the question exists, and I don't have an answer to that. That's why the psychology department next time, maybe. Is he someone who's reacting in an angry way, in a calculated way, or is he reacting emotionally? And I think that's the first point that I want to make in terms of looking forward. Generally, we want to have political, generally I say carefully, we always want to have political leaders who calculate, who think through, who play chess, who do it in a rational, careful way, who don't respond emotionally for the guts. If you respond emotionally from your guts, you can have a serious problem. There was a major concern about Reagan when he became President of the United States. Reagan, throughout his presidency, was very careful and calculated. Reagan also knew what he didn't know as president, and he relied very heavily, particularly around the foreign policy, on his advice. And for the most part, it was good for the United States, it was good for the world, it was good for Israel. George Shultz, I remember sitting in meetings here in Israel when he was first appointed. He said, oh, he works for Bechtel, which was a big firm that did a lot of contracting in Saudi Arabia. But before that, Schultz was a professor, like some professors in he was an economist. He had worked in the government. These are not the large kind of people in kind of administration. So I want to be cautious, very cautious. This is unknown territory. We don't really know where we're going with this, and I'm not going to make many predictions. I shouldn't make any. I have up here. Don't make any predictions because if this is put on YouTube, I'm wrong. I don't want to hear about it. I'll never stop hearing about it. So I think people who make predictions on anything, is Trump going to move the capital? Move the capital. The capital is in Jerusalem. That's right. Up in every morning through the traffic to Bar-Ilan, at least this week. The capital of Israel is Jerusalem. That's our decision. But is the United States going to stop this ridiculous policy that's been going on for 68 years, 69 years? Jerusalem is an issue for final status negotiations, and until then, we're going to continue to look at this as something that was called corpus separatum in 1947, which maybe I won't go simply don't know how those forces are going to end up. What do we know? As I said, we know something about the track record of the elections, and apparently some continuity with that in terms of Trump's own manner of working. It may change all of a sudden Friday night in Washington. It may not. On that, I would be surprised to some degree if that happens, just given what we've seen in the last couple of months. So what else do we know? We know something about, we know quite a bit about appointments. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about the appointments. And there are people who are very critical. It's a mixed bag. I know some of the people that have been appointed, I've met with them. People who served in Congress, dealt with intelligence issues, the new head of the CIA, Congressman Pompeo from Kansas, the serious guy. Other people, the Secretary of State, is watching his testimony before Congress, even though he has a background in business and Exxon. Clearly, this is someone who's already made the adjustment. He knows that as Secretary of State, he's not going to be running Exxon. And his points about dealing with Russia were really ones that were carefully weighed and thought through. Secretary of Defense, colloquially Mad Dog Mathis, has a long history of dealing with security issues and is very well respected. I talked to Israeli officials, the IDF and elsewhere, who worked with him for years. Strongly respect him. We may not love his political views, but he was also careful that, I'm going to say this, I don't want to sound like Trump, be careful of what you read in many of the newspapers, including the Israeli newspapers. There was a significant difference between what was reported in the papers about Matt's testimony on Jerusalem and the way it appeared in Washington from the beginning to the end. He said when he was asked very intelligent, clever, dodging the question, avoiding the issue of Jerusalem. The Secretary of State, when I come to Israel, the people that I meet are in Tel Aviv. That for me, that's capitalism. It's an open question. So there are in his appointments a number of people, a broad range of people who have strong credentials. However, there are also people who we know very little about. One of his campaign themes was his campaign theme of centrality was Make America Great Again. First challenge that he's going to have is in the economic realm. And there are many questions. Either the first speaker should be an economist. Because, and there we have to give credit where credit is due. Obama did a good job. The economy 8 years ago was a wreck. It was looked like it was on the verge of collapse. Big financial operations holding, it was a major international crisis point. People were talking about 1929 and another massive stock market crash that would last for 8-10 years. Unemployment growing around the world. The United States has had the best recovery of all the advanced industrial countries in the world, except Israel. Israel, not quite the scale of the United States, but unemployment has dealt with relatively better. And yet there is a strong sense among Trump voters of being endangered, of losing jobs, of being reduced, downsized. If you go through Chicago, Detroit, that whole area there, and that's I think the first challenge that Trump's got is going to be this area. How do you heal some of the wounds? And they're not all clear. He didn't clear the, I should say, he did clear the swamp because most of those appointments are people who were very much involved in the previous policies. He's got experts in there, but people who were part of that Wall Street complex, not the Bernie Sanders people at all. And there are expectations there that he's going to be able to work miracles, that his team is going to be able to work miracles. That's, I think, in terms of domestic issues, that's the big challenge he's going to face. Yes, It's going to save jobs, but how much is it going to cost? How much? Who's going to pay for the subsidies? It doesn't go together that you're going to subsidize thousands and thousands of jobs so they don't go offshore in order to save salary costs, and at the same time avoid raising taxes or prevent growth in the budget deficit. That combination just doesn't work economically. How they're going to put it together. It's interesting. Wall Street has gone up a lot since the Trump election, been stabilized for a while. When the numbers start coming in, how are they going to look? Also, a lot of those jobs that are coming back to the United States are for robots. Increasingly, we're blaming nanotechnology for that. But increasingly, finding jobs for people who are not high-tech is going to be challenges. We tend to look at everything from Israel. Most of what I'm going to talk about here is going to be foreign policy in Israel, but I got to put this stuff out of the way. The economic challenges are very, very major. And from what we've seen from Trump, and how he's going to do it is very, very problematic. We're going to see issues there that are going to continue. It's important to keep a close eye on that. So, okay. Now, what about, how does that affect Israel, foreign policy, big world? There are more questions in that area. How much capital is Trump going to put in when he makes his vision in terms of the energy and the focus of his administration? In Political Science 101, I teach, there's a section, my former students here, but nobody's here to say I didn't teach. We talk about something called political capital. You have a bank account, you have a salary, you have certain resources. When you get down to zero, that's it. In politics, by the way, you can't go to the bank and borrow it. So usually a new president comes in with a significant amount of political capital because that person just got elected. The other guy lost. And so that Congress and elsewhere, they don't want this guy who was successful so recently. Gradually, over 4 years, usually that political capital drops. And then if you get reelected, you get a little bit more. Otherwise, somebody else comes in. You don't get as much the second term as you got the first term. Second class in this series, we say, okay, you got to do most of your work the first year. Most of the changes you want to make in policy. I didn't mention healthcare. I should have said that. Among domestic issues, Obama, that was his big issue. We've already seen efforts, process begun in Congress to undo that. That's part of political capital. How much political capital is going to be left for dealing with foreign policy issues? How many challenges? I suspect that Mathis will tell Trump, listen, yeah, the Jews, the Israelis should have a capital. We should recognize, we should move the embassy. But is it really worth it for us to deal with all the chaos, the anger, the violence that the Arabs are threatening to throw at us? Maybe it would be prudent for us not to do that or to do it in an official way. I'm not saying again, I'm saying I imagine conversations like that. I don't know where they're going to go. We don't know who's going to be dominant in the Trump administration. And he's got other issues on the table. Start with the big world issues. Russia. Russia is, it's not Israel that's the big problem for the United States. It's Putin, the American-Russian relationship. Trump, on a personal basis, has been very careful to engage Putin, not attack Putin, trying to play down the evidence, certainly, of the computer hacking, the involvement. Well, he won the election, so he doesn't want to say he won the election because of Putin. But it's not just hacking. Ukraine, Russian troops. The American government today, this week, meaning President Obama, deployed a number of American combat troops in Eastern Europe. That's a major move. It's a major signal. Trump has talked about NATO as being, I think, the term outdated, outmoded. Well, how do you confront a very aggressive Russian leadership if you don't have this kind of NATO framework? Who's going to make the decisions Mattis is very strongly involved with NATO. I suspect Tillerson, the foreign minister, the new Secretary of State, I suspect will leave those issues to the defense area. How's Trump going to weigh in? Is he going to be active over attempting to overrule Mattis or sidelining him on these issues? We don't know. But Russia is, it's 50% of the Trump foreign policy team's political focus, where they're going to have to decide what to do and use whatever capital they have in the foreign policy realm is going to have to be devoted to Russia. If you engage them too strongly, are you prepared to confront them? Trump is going to be tested internationally. Every new leader is tested, and especially one that's had no track record, no experience. By the name of Olmert, back in 2005 or 2006, suddenly Ariel Sharon had a stroke, and Olmert became prime minister. And a very short time afterwards, we had on the one side from Hamas the attack that kidnapped Gilad Shalit, and then from maybe the sequences. No, and then came the Hezbollah attack. Attack, which immediately triggered a war in July 2006, where Israeli soldiers were killed and 2 bodies were captured. It's something that became very problematic for Israel. And the Olmert, the government at the time, was really unprepared for that. Halut's new chief of staff, Peretz, the defense minister. Well, Trump, as a president, if I spoke very hard to I don't speak with a Russian accent, but that's certainly something that we test him on. What about the Middle East? What about Iran? Is Iran going to be, are they going to compete to see who's going to test Trump first? Is it going to be an Iranian terror, Iranian-sponsored terror attack, like Hezbollah and Iran did in Buenos Aires? How many years ago was that? Almost 20, it was 18 years ago. So. Over 200 people were killed. There were 2 massive bombings there, one of the Israeli embassy and one of the Jewish community center. We still don't have any real answers. But we know Hezbollah and Iran are involved. Well, those are tests. Or is it going to be something even more significant? The ongoing fighting in Syria, which involves Russian groups. There's so many different scenarios that are going to test the Trump administration. Are they prepared to deal with that? And that doesn't just mean the Secretary of Defense. It means a whole national security infrastructure. And then there are more questions than answers. The experience of these people, their capability to work together, they're going to very quickly be thrown into this, and they have to be able to answer. We were told that Jared Kushner, Trump's son-in-law, I understand from people who taught him at Harvard, he's well equipped intellectually to deal with issues, but he's never really dealt with them before. And Trump mentioned the fact that he would also be involved in our issues, Israeli-Palestinian issues. Then we have an ambassador coming in, they defeat them. Not from a security realm, and also who's going to make these decisions? How are they going to be decided upon in a very short period of time? These are all much more open questions than points that I can give any answers to. But these are things to look at. Could even come from North Korea. North Korea continues to flex muscle. We tend to forget about all these flashpoints, but that's how the world works. North Korea is probably going to test, according to reports, preparing to test ICBM with either a nuclear warhead or with the capability of using a nuclear warhead. They tested a number of nuclear weapons so far. Really, an unguided missile is appropriate there, and you could have a crisis in Asia. You could have China pushing the envelope further in terms of trying to become the dominant force in the Pacific, trying to prevent American and other aircraft from crossing these artificial islands that they want to claim territory and mineral rights and other things. Those are all very difficult questions that I think will test the Trump administration national basis, or are we going to get policies made by Twitter? And that's a real question, and it's not something that I'm saying in a derogatory way, but something that needs to be considered. And how is that going to affect Israel? How is that going to affect our security issues? All these issues affect Israel centrally. With the addresses we're going to speak to, what's the role of Congress in this? The relationship overall seems to be quite hostile. On the one hand, we've had during the Obama administration, the Republican Congress has been the main focus of cooperation between our Prime Minister and our leadership and the U.S. on a lot of these issues. It was to the Republican Congress, Republican-led Congress, that Prime Minister Netanyahu gave his speech on the Iranian nuclear deal. And I don't think you'll hear anybody in the Obama administration saying, maybe he was right, but perhaps Netanyahu was right. How is that going to play out now with the Republican Congress and the White House, although allegedly from the same party, not at all speaking the same language? And having a lot of points of friction, including on all the points that I mentioned. What I think we are likely to see is a shift in what, again, I'm going to do now political science advanced in the foreign policy realm. And then I think I'll stop talking and we'll have some discussions. What we've seen on Obama, in a stronger way than I expected, but very clearly, is what we call an idealist-based foreign policy. It was most strongly represented in the form of groups. Don't get involved, don't get engaged. That's why the deployment of American troops and tanks and weapons to Poland for an exercise, but they'll be there for a long time because it's meant to deter the Soviet Union, is a change. But for 8 years, basically, the Obama administration, to a large degree, decided to avoid the use of force or threat of force. I was Motzei Shabbat a few years ago. I was supposed to do interviews on the Israeli media because Obama was coming down the White House corridor. It was a red carpet to a microphone stand because he said, if President Assad uses chemical weapons one more time, that will cross the red line. He said it a few times, and we will act with force. And I heard the speech, and I was ready to do my interviews afterwards. And he gave all the reasons why Assad needs to be punished, because these threats were not effective, and now he's got to be shown that he's crossed the red line. And the last paragraph of his speech, he explained that he wasn't going to do it because there was a breakthrough agreement, and the United States, along with Putin's Russia, he didn't put it that way, along with Russia, and other partners, and the Chemical Weapons Prohibition Organization, would have agreed with the Syrian government to remove all chemical weapons under international supervision. Well, for 3 years after that, and chemical weapons continued to be used, and that was a signal to everybody. It reinforced what had already been well-established Obama policy, and that is no use of force except in very specific circumstances for a very short period of time, particularly in the, what's the word I want to use, targeting of bin Laden. It was logic of idealism, international agreements, common sense, all the Kantian approach. Trump is not, and none of Trump's appointments share that. This is the opposite, polar opposite. This is going to be this one prediction I will make, and that is that we will see a foreign policy based on realism. Realism doesn't mean automatic use of force. It means carefully weighing where to use force, how much force to use, not using force in a very limited way. It's the polar opposite of the Obama administration. Using force when necessary. I think then he's going to find out, if he doesn't already, he's going to need allies, NATO, Israel. And Israel now, for the first time, has an official status in NATO. We have an office in NATO in Brussels, and that's significant. It would get more attention if everything else wasn't going around these days. Going to need allies, going to need resources, financial, it's at political capital. You may have to send American forces into battle, take risks, risk of counter-terror attacks. All those things have to be weighed. But there, the fundamental assumption is we have to use deterrence, and if we don't use force when we say we threaten to use force, then we're going to continue to be pushed back further and further, and it's going to get worse and worse. So these types of perspectives are ones that are going to be reintroduced into American foreign defense policy in a strong way, which also means that when Israel responds to attacks by using force, the criticism, the almost automatic criticism and lack of understanding that we heard in the last 8 years, if we hear it all, will be tactical and not strategic. It will be causing us problems, not what you're doing is something that you shouldn't be doing. That's a different topic. And I think that is important. How that's going to succeed, how it's going to play out, there I'm going to say it. There are too many options out there to really predict. So a lot of questions out there that we're going to face. We don't have the equivalent of the Chinese curse. Foucault never said the curse of living in interesting times. But I think it applies to Jews certainly as much as Chinese. These are going to be, unfortunately, even more interesting than they have been. I think the basic framework is fasten your seatbelts. There are going to be a lot of ups, and we have to be aware of that. And a lot more questions than answers, and that's a good way for me to carefully stop my presentation and invite questions that probably people take. Sorry, work my way forward.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, you say if you stand up and introduce yourself, it'll be easier.
Hi, my name's Ashley Gerald. I'm originally from Kennesaw, Georgia. I'm studying here at Bar-Ilan, and I have a question for you. Thank you so much for speaking. What are your thoughts on the Obama administration's decision to abstain from UN Resolution 2334? And how do you think this will make the relations, U.S.-Israeli relations, going on in the future, even though the Trump administration does seem to have a different approach?
Okay, that's a nice, tough question. You noticed what I will now say. I was going to talk about that. I didn't talk about the UN. I haven't talked about what's going on the last 2 weeks about Paris, and I'm not making predictions. In 6 months, we will have forgotten about all of those. This is not a rationally considered foreign policy goal. I don't think that what was in the Security Council will really have a long-term impact. I may be wrong about some of it. They may pick out bits and pieces. It's interesting. The Paris conference did not reinforce, and in fact, I read carefully, I compared the two documents, and a lot of the details that are in the Security Council resolution were not the Paris announcement. The British and the Australians did not sign the Paris announcement. The British were on the Security Council, they're a permanent member. It looks like the Prime Minister wasn't happy that her foreign ministry voted in favor, that her government voted for that. So there's a lot of internal issues there. I think there are some dangers about the way in which the language did set precedents. No, it's wrong to say Secretary of State Kerry and President Obama, this just reiterated American policy for decades. No. The issue of Jerusalem, the language of 67 lines or something like that, not the 1949 armistice agreements, is a little bit of a stronger language. Illegality of settlements, those sorts of things are in there, and a little bit of, or more than a hint of BDS, the language I think they call the differentiation of economic activity and over the occupied Palestinian territory, that kind of language. But I just think the world is, for all the reasons I talked about, the world is changing so much. I don't expect anybody in the Trump administration to recall that language. I don't expect the British, for the foreseeable future, to embrace language. I think Europeans, there are other countries as well that are taking a step back. So, and the whole process of writing this resolution and how it was pushed through, we get so many different stories on this. It seems very obvious to me it was a carry production. New Zealand played a role, and other countries played a role. It was when they leave the stage, it's going to be very different. So I'm not as concerned as other people are about that, but I get things wrong once in a while. So go ahead, the woman in the red hat and the gentleman not in the red hat. Yeah.
Hi, my name is Prof. Hello. I would like to know what's your opinion about the future of the American economy in general under President Trump, and specifically his claim that he's going to rebuild America.
Okay, I go back to my earlier statement. I'm not an economist. That's it. I don't. What I do, if any of my economist colleagues, Bar-Ilan, were here, they would pull me off this. I don't have a license. I don't want to practice without a license. The little bit that I know, and I'll add to that the political framework of this. I'll read what I said before, and I can't really add to that. I don't know enough. Making America great again in the economic realm is going to be very difficult. America is economically doing better than essentially every other advanced industrial country, certainly much better than Europe. Canada, Canadian dollars, what, about 74. It shows you they got the Canadian economy on resources, the plummet in the price of the natural resources. So it's going to be a very tough fight. And he's announced deals to save a few jobs. 2,000 jobs. It's not trivial, but it's not a macro policy solution. And then the initial investment, putting people out of work or reducing. All these things are going to continue to build up, and there's nothing that I know about that a president can do. He can, the government can slow it down. It can redistribute resources, but it's going to be very difficult to do that, and particularly given the resistance that Trump comes into office. He comes in with less political capital than any other president in modern history, and more friction. So that's about as far as my. Rebuilding the infrastructure costs money, and Obama did some of that, and there's good case to be made. He should have done a lot more. But how are they going to pay for it? And that they're going to raise taxes. Trump's going to raise taxes. I don't know how that's going to work, and I don't think that it's been given serious thought from everything we've been able to see. So there's this huge problem. I talked about political capital, but Trump comes in with deficit in some ways because he's made promises that have no detailed programs of how to fill. Usually in a campaign, you get these massive, not just the platforms of the parties, but you have a program to deal with healthcare, you have a program to deal with jobs and all sorts of other issues, and welfare, all of those things. Well, Trump will come in with, and usually they get ignored after you, but at least they have a working set of documents. They have people who are going to be in charge of those policies. We don't have that in the Trump case at all. So I think that I would be very careful not to get your hopes up. And when disappointment sets in because he didn't do what he said he was going to do because he couldn't do what he said he was going to do, that's part of politics. And he's going to fix that. There's a gentleman over there.
How important is the position of U.S. ambassador to Israel? There's somebody new with no experience, and the U.S. has put in some real seasoned diplomats in the past.
I'm going to be careful. This is on the record, so I'm going to be a little bit careful. I've known American ambassadors for many years. I don't agree with all of them. In at least half the cases, the American ambassador played a symbolic role only. Policy was made in Washington. In other cases, the ambassador had a significant policy-making role, particularly in the period of Secretary Baker, back in George Bush the father, which was what, the 42nd? Bush 40, 42? Whatever it was, okay? So, and there, basically, the president said to the Secretary of State, you make the policy, and he had Dennis Ross, and he had Dan Kurtzer was the ambassador here for part of that, or maybe I remember and David Miller, and who was the one in those days? Martin Indig, right? Indig was the ambassador for part of that period too. And they really made policy, and they influenced policy. And when they said, well, it was BB back in 96, 97, and it was part of 98, whatever the prime minister, and these people are not, we're going to have to impose, and if you're serious about peace, here's the White House number. That didn't come from the White House or from the Secretary of State's number. It came from, to a large degree, ambassadors and people on the ground. They had a network. That's not, I doubt David Friedman, the designated ambassador, is not a diplomat, not a seasoned diplomat, not a diplomat at all. And whether how the new Secretary of State will have any connection with him or not, all these things are open. I would guess he's not going to make policy. Whether Trump listens to him and whether he has access, all those things, we don't know how the process is going to work. So I wouldn't build on that. It'll be very interesting to see, and I look forward to meeting Ambassador Friedman when he gets here.
Larry Nyberg, could you comment on how the new Trump administration might have impact on Israeli governmental politics?
It's already had impact on Israeli politics. I don't know about policies. Politics I know something about here. And I think perhaps a little bit premature for all the reasons I talked about. Welcoming the Trump administration, talking about annexing Malaya Lumim, various other initiatives. You hear from, on one hand, you hear Naftali Bennett, Minister Bennett, talking about annexation, and then you hear Tzachi Hanegbi, who I think became a minister for something, I don't remember why, but Tzachi Hanegbi is probably the closest politician in terms of foreign policy to Netanyahu. When you hear Hanegbi, you hear mostly also Netanyahu. And not because he's a parrot, but because I think they think similarly on the lines we talked about in terms of deterrence and realism and other issues. So, how that's going to play out, I see Prime Minister Netanyahu as generally in foreign policy cautious, a realist. We can argue about some of the decisions, but he's also turned out to be right on some of those. And so I suspect it's going to be cautious, but there will be a lot of pressure. Here's an opening, let's go for it. And it's going to be played out. I think it will have an impact on Israeli domestic politics in different ways. Probably a continuation of what we've seen since November 8th. And there's so many other issues out there. I don't know how much time it's going to. I told people, I did some interviews, including one for a French media outlet on the Paris summit, and I said, nobody in Israel's paying attention. We're all listening to the tapes between the publisher, Yediot, and our Prime Minister, and how that's going to play out. Talking about cigars and champagne and all these other issues. So, domestic politics, I will quote Tip O'Neill, we're still doing Politics 101. All politics is local. That's certainly true for Israel. I say that to the Americans who come here, why don't you do this? No, why don't you do that? I spoke to an ambassador yesterday, relatively new here, not an American, European. She said, I didn't realize how complicated Israeli politics are. And I said, all politics are complicated, and we're Jews, we're even more complicated. And that means you've got to pay attention to everything. So, it's a long answer. It says, I don't know.
I have a question about this moving the embassy to Jerusalem. And it appears to me that the newspapers are not reporting the question correctly. About 15 or 20 years ago, the Congress passed a law saying the embassy should be moved to Jerusalem. It requires every 6 months for the president to sign a document saying, I will not allow the movement. So, it's not should Trump order the movement of the embassy to Jerusalem, it's in 6 months. Will he sign the document preventing?
I don't do predictions, right? I will just say, I'm the professor. I'm wearing this professor jacket, so I'm standing up here, so I'm going to be professor and say there are other options and scenarios of sort of signing of all sorts of tricks. there's this trick that they use everywhere. Started, I think, in the United States. You have to, by law, pass a budget by whatever, midnight, December 31st, or maybe it's the 30th of June in the US. You can stop the clock for weeks at a time or days at a time in Congress so that it's fake, right? It's not really. There are things like that that every administration, every president, every government has figured out how to do. So, yes, that's a controversial. I wouldn't build on it. I think there are, you talked about you reading reports in the newspapers. There is this term called fake news, and it is real. It's been there for years, but it's now more than ever. So you're absolutely right. There is a law, and every 6 months Obama has been signing. Everybody's been signing this automatically. And now you're going to, when that law comes up, I can give you, and some of this is speculation. I can give you speculation on ways to get around it. Say a couple other points about this. You're in Rehoboth, I'm in Jerusalem, so I get my American passports renewed. I register now my grandchildren, my kids register their grandchildren at the American consulate in, it's out there by the Diplomat Hotel. I'm not sure how it's in. It's on, no, thanks. But it's really out in the middle of nowhere. In Yensfeld, it's way out there. It's a fortress. Have you been there? So you got to go through at least 2 significant security checks with your car, far away from the actual section where people work. It's a fortress out there. And the security is very tight. And I was just there a couple of weeks ago. And basically, that was built as potential embassies. So there are various, and there's also another plot of land over by, drawn a little bit further, Allenby, that has been talking. There are all sorts of options there. So they don't have to build an embassy, but they may say, okay, we'll buy time by saying we're going to do it, but we're going to do it start now. And there are all sorts of things they can do. By the way, there's a move to close the American consulate. There are Americans talking about closing the place we used to get our passports done in the middle of near the American Hotel, and where it's very hard and somewhat uncomfortable to go into that area and not built in terms of security forces. So that's just a little taste of the ways they can finesse it. There's an idea that the residence, the ambassador, which technically can be called the embassy, could be in Jerusalem, and that fortress that we see over in Hayakon, Hayakon, will continue to be the annex, whatever it is. So if anybody wants to hire me, the Hebrew word is hitchamkut. I don't know how do you say that in English. Is there any such word to maneuver around like slalom so that you get away with it? I don't know. Or he might just tweet and say, we're moving the embassy, and that's it. It's very possible. I'm on sabbatical for the next semester. So, but I'll still do my media stuff, so that's a little easier.
Obviously, he takes a lot of, I would say, undue reliance on his family members, and therefore he's given them roles that they have no experience for. They have no government experience whatsoever, let alone international politics. So now that Jared Kushner is going to end up somehow playing a key role in things that will affect our lives, do you think that Israel is concerned about that?
I'm not quite as, sorry?
Regardless of what his brain, according to his professors, is capable of.
We don't know the professor. I can't tell you who the professor's name is, but I told you the name, you'd be impressed. Okay? This is not a professor who gives out high grades easily. If I say any more, you'll figure it out, so I'll be quiet. And it's not someone, by the way, who's inclined at all to be sympathetic to Trump. So this is not, okay. Having said that on the side, Jared, every leader in the world, including in democratic countries, relies on family members in different ways. We have a prime minister who's very involved in issues where his wife. I've been to a few meetings, and Sarah was there, not on the, I shouldn't go into these here, I'm just saying that you see, you hear. And that's not something that is, I'm looking for a stronger word than problematic. It's not prohibited in any way. What that role is and what, you got to have a sounding board. You got to have somebody who's going to tell you, not because they're scared of you or BS people, yes men, yes women, yes people, works, okay? People you can rely on. And that's really, really hard in this day and age, by the way. It's really hard. It's harder and harder. So, and it's not all family members. It's his brother and son-in-law. Those are the two people that are, at this point, are likely to have his ear on these issues. I could think of a lot worse situations. So, again, we're entering into unknown territory. Nancy Reagan played a very large but not very visible role, and a troubling role in the Reagan administration in terms of, I talked about rational decision making, and if I didn't, I meant to talk about it. I did talk about it at the beginning. And some of the stuff that she did was with mediums and other things was very problematic. We didn't know about it at the time because we didn't have WikiLeaks and all the other stuff, Twitter and everything else that's out there. So I don't think this is particularly new. It's always important to have people that you can do. Also, I'm talking from an Israeli perspective. If you can talk to somebody like Jared Kushner, who will have the president's ear, if you will talk, who will be able to tell you how the different players are lining up on a particular issue, can tell you, don't waste your time with this, it's not going to go, or it's not worth it, or you have to do this instead. You've got to listen to that. So, again, in this case, I think that if that turns out to be the case, what's stated now is going to happen in 6 months is two completely different realms. We don't know if Jared Kushner will be working with the Secretary of State Tillerson, who's going to make policy on what issues. So all these things are open, but I do not say this is necessarily a bad thing.
A few months ago, Bibi Netanyahu addressed the UN, and he gave a message, a very strong message, which he reiterated several times after that. The message was, among other things, that the winds are changing, that Israel's position in the international community is only getting better, and we're going to start to see a huge shift in Israel's position vis-a-vis the international community. The resolution a couple of weeks ago, I guess you could define that as an inauspicious start. But my question to you is, do you share Bibi's optimism about Israel's position vis-a-vis the international community?
To some degree. Is it optimism? Is it political hype? Be careful about this. To some degree, yes. I was in a conversation with someone that was not focused on Israeli-Palestinian issues, but Israel and Europe, which has been a very difficult problem for at least 20 years. Europe, unfortunately, now is subject to much of the same terrorism that Israel is. Europe is going through political changes. Is Marine Le Pen going to be the prime minister, the president of France after the elections this year? What else is going on in Europe? We have Theresa May and David Cameron stepped down as prime minister after the Brexit vote. And many of us are saying he was the best prime minister the UK's had for Israel in ages. And here comes Theresa May, who's, in terms of her understanding of the region and her inherent moral spine. I'm doing too much Hebrew. I was going to say I'm going to try 30 years, 35 years. That's something that we hadn't expected, those who didn't follow the details. How much they expected. So all I'm saying is that so what we talk about Israel's energy. Israel has a major source of energy for Europe, the big gas fields. That's happening. We tend to lose track of that because of all the domestic debate, but Europe now sees Israel gas fields outside off the Israeli coast as a significant means of diversifying and reducing their dependence on Russian gas, which is a big problem. How that's going to be is a question. We're already either exporting or about to export to Jordan, maybe to Turkey. Changes. Energy is a big deal. The cliches are there, but the smart nation is, startup nation is very important, smart power. All comes and everything else that gives leverage. And the chaos in the Middle East. I would say, and I think Netanyahu said it the UN resolution 2234 was the last gasp of the dying order, dying All those cliches, you heard them in Paris. We're not, it's going to be a struggle to change it. Everybody's used to it, but it's not relevant anymore. So I'm semi-optimistic. I do think, though, that these ways of thinking, these very deeply ingrained views, Palestinians are victims, and it's terrible, and we got to go and help them. And the Israelis have stolen land, and all these other cliches that have been out there are so deeply ingrained that it's going to take many more years. When I shifted more of my activities from nuclear weapons and proliferation, what I did 20 years ago, 30 years ago, to what I call soft power and international courts and NGOs and human rights, what we call soft power in the political science area, I said it's going to take us at least 20 years to undo damage. It's been 10 years. We're undoing a little of that damage. It's going to take another 10 years to at least, because it's been built up. So I don't expect to see it immediately, but I think there's a significant amount of realism in that perspective. I'm not going to go out there and dance in the streets that the conflict is over, but I think even the Palestinians realize it. Some of them. Sarah, you asked a question?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I have two
Or
questions.
to take me off and tell me how my time's up.
No. I could sit here all day and listen. I have two questions. The Iran agreement. Do you believe, first of all, that that it's a sign that the United States has weakening power, especially in the Middle East and in the world, and also showing that Iran is trying to be like a hegemony in the area? My second, is Donald Trump going to rescind on it? Is he going to go back on
Remember,
the
I don't do
agreement?
predictions.
No prediction. In your opinion.
The first part is a little bit easier looking back. The Obama administration and Obama personally decided at the very beginning that he was going to engage Iran and he was going to hug Iran and befriend Iran because that was the best way of defanging Iran. He was wrong, completely wrong. I quoted it now. And most Israeli security experts agree that nuclear deal is at best a mixed bag. That they're continuing, it's obvious they're continuing to build the infrastructure, whether they are secretly or preparing to secretly continue with the development of nuclear weapons. All of that's a debate. We don't know enough yet to know. It's a little bit open. Former Defense Minister Bogie, I don't think it's 1 year, but he thinks that after that it's going to be a disaster. Sorry? Napa Valley. We moving? Okay. So, and across the board, the Trump people and Trump himself have talked about changing, negotiating, whatever it is. I think the clear statement made by Mathis in his, remember his name is not Mad Dog. Somebody can look it up quickly, tell me what his first name is. General Mathis talked about enforcing the terms of the agreement, which have been laxly or not enforced since the last 2.5 years. You were invited to come to my class. I think there are a few seats left. 2 o'clock, because that's the subject of today's class, is international diplomacy and conflict resolution. And one of my colleagues who's been involved from an Israeli perspective, and I are going to be talking about these same questions. I doubt we're going to have anything more than teaching the students about what's in the agreement first and how it was negotiated. Basically, I'll be very cynical, and I will quote our Prime Minister at another Congress and elsewhere. Basically, the Americans said you can do just about anything you want, and you don't have to contain Hezbollah, and you can continue to test weapons and continue to keep a lot of your capabilities, and we're going to even make sure you get new supplies of uranium that you can enrich that will take out the old ones, maybe. All those things we're saying to the Iranians, as long as you smile and do the photo ops with us in Geneva, or Vienna when they finally made the agreement, then you can have just about everything, and we're going to take off the sanctions because we want to bring you back into your national sphere and make you feel welcome so that you behave like us. That's the idealistic perspective that Obama came with and agrees with. And it's a source of immense frustration. And the conversations that I have with the current American ambassador, which are limited because we quickly reached that point where there's almost no bridge between those two perspectives. They're so different and those so strongly embraced. So what will Trump do with that? He's going to be, there's a cost to everything. There's how much, again, political capital will he risk? Will they? What's going to be the discussion like around the table, around the Twitter, whatever they're going to, how is it going to make policies? I think, obviously on this, they're going to have to be careful, and let's hope they are, at least calculating costs and benefits as they go along with it. It's a huge issue.
Can I be excused for asking a second question?
I don't see anybody else stopping.
The Democratic Party in the U.S. They're now
I've heard of them back in my taught history. Yeah.
Yeah. They're proposing to have a Muslim-headed party. And the Muslim who is being proposed is considered radical. A second point is, in the last vote on Israeli issues, the Democrats voted, I think it was 90 to 70 for Israel. Meaning the vote in favor of Israel by the Democratic Party was close. 10 votes swing, and they would have been voting against us, the Democrats.
Okay. Yeah. Is there yeah, I can see.
The point is,
yeah.
Can we depend upon the Democratic Party?
Look, I skipped over a couple of points on my notes. I realized in my opening comments, which lasted longer than they were supposed to anyway. We talk about anti-Semitism, and I have to. And I have to talk about the way the Israel debate in the United States, particularly among liberal Democrats. So you've given me the opportunity. So let me just say a couple words about, more than a couple words, I should say, about anti-Semitism, because it's a real concern. That's another question mark that hangs over the Trump campaign. How many Jewish community centers were evacuated last week because of bomb threats, and how many swastikas have been painted in synagogues? There is a rash of anti-Semitism. I think also in Canada, I think it's spilled over to Canada, acts like that are not something we've seen probably since the 50s or 60s. And it all gets to do with this internal socio-political turmoil that exists in this alt-right group, and I think that's a legitimate concern. And I do criticize Trump for not having spoken out strongly against that. That a lot of his ignorance is no excuse for that anymore. That's a serious issue that has to be addressed. It's out there, and it's going to grow worse. And I hear it from my family members. I see it in lots of different ways. I'm not sure that ties in directly to the issue of the Democratic Party, but it's another phase of this, another dimension of this. Bernie Sanders, millennials. I don't like to use these big packages because there are many different. When people talk about Israeli voters, it's which Israeli voters are you talking about? There are differences. This last week in the Knesset, there was a whole session about anti-Israel activities on campuses. It gets into the issues of what's the role of J Street and the New Israel Fund and other groups like that. Those have to be addressed head on, and there's a lot of damage there. Huge amount of damage. I don't know if we can rely on the Democrats or not. They're good Democrats in terms of people who are solidly committed to Israel and are anguished about this, and they have to make choices in terms of when to speak out and when to be quiet in order to build alliances. There's that issue that came up yesterday. Trump attacked John Lewis, probably the most prominent black Democratic leader in Congress, with a long history of, this is Martin Luther King Day, of fighting for civil rights. And it was done in a way that was divisive. There was a question as to whether even Trump knew who John Lewis is. Lewis attacked him, but it said he was going to the inauguration. And there's a whole history of alliances between liberal Jewish groups and people like John Lewis, and we need those alliances. How do you fix them, I would say? I'm waiting to see Democratic leaders come out who will emphasize this. I think that is one of Hillary Clinton's major failures. We talk about the election campaign, and I'm not saying this from any political, ideological perspective, but Hillary Clinton lost the election. She ran a bad campaign, and part of it was what's called pandering. She said yes to everybody, which means she didn't take any strong moral stands. And taking a strong moral stand on the issue of anti-Semitism and leading the Democratic Party away from this tendency that which I see is imported from Europe, promoted by J Street, Israel's wrong in everything, and Palestinian victims. That's going to take a big effort to change. And so if the Democratic Party doesn't find a way to move away from that, it's going to be a serious problem. I don't know if Ellison's going to be elected. I don't even know when they're going to make that decision. But it needs to be addressed. And if he is, that's going to make it even more difficult to move away. Not much of an answer, but again, it's not an optimistic response at all. It's a serious, serious issue. I'm just going to go a little bit further with that. I follow, read, sometimes write, when they let me, in the Jewish media. I'm talking about Jewish Telegraphic Agency, what would be called the liberal, democratic-oriented establishment on the East Coast, largely from the East Coast, New York in particular. So you have Jewish Telegraphic Agency, you have their Jewish Week. I'm trying to think if there are other media platforms like that that are out there, and the activities of groups like J Street and others that are very active on these issues. And this alienation, this image of Israel, and as being responsible for the conflict, we expect more as Jews from Israel. We are as Jews. There's a group in, I think it started in Boston, called Not in Our Name, which is about the occupation. It's a one-issue, very narrow, slogan-driven group of very passionate kids with some money. So all these issues are significant. That's one of the things that I document and study is who pays for all of this and how the process works. Usually it's hidden and you have to dig it out. Those are all issues that have alienated many, many Jews, young Jews, from Israel, and presented a very simplistic image of a complex situation. That's my neutral academic language. And if it's going to change, it means leaders are going to have to get up there and, from a liberal political perspective, and say, yes, but this doesn't apply for these reasons. And we have to get away from this sort of knee-jerk response, automatic response. What's the term? Intersectionality. Black Lives Matter. When you have a Black Lives Matter based organization coming to Palestine, it's really Palestine. And just a second, I'm going to finish this because it's gotten me going here, and I got to say this for the record. Nothing else. Getting indoctrinated. People who know nothing about the conflict, the history, getting indoctrinated. And being told this is just like the oppression of black people in the United States, just like slavery, just like the civil rights movement, by Jews, sometimes by Israelis. It's such a distortion of reality, and it's so deeply ingrained. And they don't want to hear the other perspective. If you say to them that's not accurate, I mean, you're a right-wing Trumpist. You're doing fake news, all those cliches will get thrown at us. It's part of the closing of the American mind, but in the Jewish way. And that's a real concern. And it's something that I'm going to be in the U.S. in a couple of weeks, I guess, in a month now. I'm doing talks, listening to people talk about the first month of the Trump administration. But that's going to be my main theme. That you have to find a way, if you're going to maintain Jewish unity, you're not going to change Israel from the outside. So at least engage with our reality. I saw your hand go up.
Yeah.
Not that I remember your name, but
Ashley.
Ashley.
I guess it kind of just went to what can you talk about what you were saying? I really do believe that the problem is on the campuses Israel on my campus, and we had a lot of anti-Semitism, and I had to fight BDS. And I really do think it has a lot to do with the narrative that's on campus. So I feel like I get what you're saying about like the Democratic Party, but it does start with the future leaders of tomorrow. And I really do wish that people would invest in people's future on the campus. These are where leaders are brought up and they're found, and then they go into their party. It's what they kind of have on campus, that anti-Semitism, and like you said, with Black Lives Matter going with the Students for Justice in Palestine, it's just that they don't know. They have so much of an emotional response, and you have to tell them the facts, but so much of what's going on college is so much emotion. They see this picture, and they don't see the facts at all.
It's a picture. It's a suffering Palestinian
child. To me, that's what's very frustrating, and it does start on the college campus, just that these people don't have a narrative. It's not so much just Jews, that you have to show other people why Israel is significant and important to them as to why they won't have these types of beliefs. But it is very rampant on campus, and it's a huge issue, and that's where it starts.
I was going to say, and I agree with you, and that's everything that I've seen in people that are actually on the campuses and don't just come visiting. People like you and not like me, I go and visit and come back. But I was going to say on Black Lives Matter, when you have the people who are part of the New Israel Funds, Adala, an Israeli organization, and giving this a credibility by saying we're Jewish, we're Israeli, whatever, and this is the reality of Israel stealing Palestinian land, all those cliches which are out there, and it's so deeply ingrained. So there really has to be, it's not going to be simple, it's going to take a very strong campaign, and I don't see it happening because I see people going off in all sorts of different directions. I'm talking about Jewish leaders involved in political issues. AIPAC going to have to take a look at itself as well. How is AIPAC? But AIPAC doesn't really do campuses. Hillel, but each Hillel has got its own somewhat independent. All these things are part of it, and there's no real leadership. So I always look for leadership as essential to make changes. And if you don't see the leader stepping forward, it's going to be a long battle. I'm going to do one or two more, and then I'm going to stop talking before my throat completely goes. While you do this, I'm just going to fill up on some tea for a second. Give me 1 second. The people over here, I could ask them.
Stand up and stretch my legs.
If you'll stick a mint tea bag or the one, oh wait a minute, I had it right over there next to your eye. Here's a tea bag right there. Just stick it back in there. A little bit of mint. Okay, sorry. You have to stand up and tell us who you are. That's part of the game.
My name is Sadat. I teach English in the English language department.
I gotta talk.
Your English
Thank you. Well, my students, I went to high school in America. Go ahead. Sorry.
Living here in Israel for the past 20 plus years, it just seems to me like American president after American president they seem to have no real grasp of the reality here and no nuance in their approach to Israel. And, for example, the absolute inability of anyone to distinguish between different parts of the 1967 line, for example, Jerusalem versus Malay versus
Or Golan, but they say.
Golan, Mil Shamron, and I just wonder to what to attribute this absolute failure, perhaps of ours, to get people to understand a little more nuanced way.
Are you talking about specific presidents, American presidents?
It seems to me like you always think to yourself, well, they must have more information, but this is how they want to approach it.
No.
I just,
They have very little time, very little patience, they're very arrogant. You say presidents or the press?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, exactly, okay. That combination is deadly, right? Arrogance and ignorance. That you think you know everything and you know very little, and then you just repeat what you hear in little bits and pieces, and you say, well, it's just like the American Civil Rights Movement, but this is just like South Africa. And that image, that one picture, and it becomes the dominant factor, and pushing back against that is very difficult. So I agree with the diagnosis, and beyond what I said before in terms of how do you change that. I don't think Obama, he was president for 8 years. He was here 4 or 5 times. I don't remember. I remember him being at least 2 or 3 times. Not including the Paris funeral, which is just in and out. To me, the image I will maintain, a couple of them. One of them is that image of, not of Obama, but the White House transcript of Obama's speech at Paris' funeral, with the word Israel crossed out. Mount Herzl, Jerusalem, Israel, and then a few minutes later, correction, and Israel is lined out. Not whited out, but lined out. That tells me almost everything I need to know. See one picture. He didn't change at all. He didn't learn anything. He didn't listen to anything. People who were at meetings say that he had a very strong view. That view, and it's true for, I assume, all presidents. Certainly for Jimmy Carter, a plug a book that I haven't published yet, but is now being reviewed, which looks at these dry but very interesting academic stuff. Menachem Begin and the Camp David negotiations, the peace negotiations with Egypt. Begin never left memoirs. A lot of that book details Begin's relationship with Carter and the way in which Carter was negotiations, not between Begin and Sadat, that was easy. It was between Begin and Carter. And Carter, this combination of ignorance and arrogance with Carter and anti-Semitism. That Professor Ken Steinberg from Emory resigned from, I think it was the Carter Library, and working with Carter on that issue. Where I don't accuse Obama of anti-Semitism, but yes, this simplistic arrogance, I know, and this I'm going to interpret it. All we can do, this is a good point for me to finish, all I can do, and I think if everybody does that, I'm talking to a converted here. And that's why I'm going to go on optimistic. What I see on a lot of campuses now, among a lot of young people, I see it on this campus as well. I see a lot more young people, young people for me, just about anybody. People my age too. I think there are a lot more engagements. I meet with people from various universities, think whatever. Very frequently, I get CVs, requests for jobs, requests for advice, and they always send. I always get a writing sample or a video sample. Those, and some of them are extremely powerful, and I give credit to people. A lot of people that are out there, and organizations that are out there. If I give a list, and I'll leave somebody out, and everybody yelling, so I won't do that. But there is a renaissance there. This is the opposite perspective. That's a point to be optimistic. The fact that you're here is important. And I had a meeting yesterday with a student from the law school who was looking for some work in the area in what we used to call hasbara. Working, what can I suggest a project to do? Very bright guy. He works with Cohen. And these are not exceptions. There are dozens of people like that just didn't exist. They went the other way. So I'm optimistic that if we continue to, can't just sit there and wait. We continue to work with these people. You teach them English, I'll teach them politics. Because if you can't write, you can't speak, you can't articulate yourself. Is that a word anymore? If you can't be articulate, then you're not going to have an impact. So all these pieces come together. So I think that's also a role for universities. It's a role for us as academics, and I do see signs of hope, and there are a lot of them. As I said, I didn't see those 15, 20 years at all. So, all of you people as
Thank you, Professor Steinberg, for your very, very insightful presentation. I'd like to thank all of you for coming to our premiere. It means a lot to us. We also invite you to be part of our planning so that you are the ones to suggest to us what issues do you want to hear about, what things are important to you and you want to hear more about them. We invite your suggestions. We invite what you have to say. And I'm going to borrow a saying from our incoming 58th inauguration, our 45th president. We will make Bar-Ilan great again. Have a wonderful day.